Today we have a mini rant, or a mini episode review, a mini rant, and discussion of upcoming episodes. Pokemon! 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 Hello everyone, I'm Dustin Benzel, and welcome to another Pokemon XY anime discussion. Today we're going to discuss a few things. We're going to discuss the mini review of the Mamoswine and Abomasnow episode. Then I really need to discuss Noibat in a rant mode because I was not happy with its role in this morning's episode for me, because I live in the United States. This morning's episode of the Japan episode with Mamoswine, I did not like Noibat's role, and I'm very getting annoyed with it. We also need to discuss the upcoming Chespin Buttlebee episode, and we have a title revealed. So let's jump right into the mini review, shall we? So anyway, the mini review is this. The episode by itself was pretty okay. The episode revolved around Ash, Serena, Clement, and Bonnie renting a Mamoswine from a girl who, I'm surprised Bonnie didn't do her marriage gag, because she looked kind of cute enough that Bonnie would have made that gag, but I don't know. Maybe it wasn't just, maybe they didn't have the budget to do something like that or whatever, so. Then they have issues traveling the snow mountains, such as needing Serena to use her skill in racing and stuff to help Mamoswine up a hill or a mountain or whatever. Then they run into Abomasnow, who's protecting a Snover, and earlier in that episode we had Team Rocket getting blasted off by Abomasnow, so then Ash and Co. are like, hey, we'll help your Snover and stuff, so Braixen, Pikachu, and Chespin stay behind to make sure that Snover is okay, while Bonnie and Clement go look for a particular berry that kind of looks like a honey looking thing. I'll show an image here or whatever, maybe both of them. And I believe Ash and Serena go into Frost Cavern to look for some moss. So basically, one of the aspects, and this is why I'm not really happy with Noibat, is that Noibat was solely used to find the right path to take, because they were in the cavern and there was a bunch of paths to take, and basically it ended up using Noibat as an example, and I'll get into my mini Noibat rant of why I have a problem with that. So anyway, everything's all taken care of. Team Rocket come in and they try to capture Abomasnow again or whatever, and then Ash, Clement, and Serena manage to make sure that everything is okay. Snover is recovered, and then Ash and Co resuming traveling, and end. That's pretty much the episode. Like I said, it was a fine episode, and I have some stray thoughts here that I noted. Jessie really loves her Gourgeist. This is another episode where Jessie and Gourgeist were practically hugging and stuff. Gourgeist didn't do too bad in this particular episode, I think, in terms of Rocket Pokemon, because it seemed like it took a little bit longer to defeat Gourgeist in particular. You know, but anyway, I'd also have to say that Team Rocket were overly unnecessary in this episode. It seemed like the writers, animators, and producers could not honestly think of any way to make this episode fuller. So they basically threw in Team Rocket attacking. See, the first time was acceptable. Team Rocket's appearance in the episode was acceptable because, you know, Team Rocket were freezing, they find a cave, they run into Abomasnow, and they attack. That's just something that would ordinarily happen, and that was fine. Team Rocket staying behind watching the twerps, and then going out of their way to capture Abomasnow is what I have a problem with, because basically that was just completely pointless, because it didn't serve any purpose. Ash only used Pikachu. Sure, Serena used Braixen, but whatever. Oh, by the way, Buttlebee was used in this episode to find that honey-looking berry thing or whatever. I'm not sure what it is. I don't know what the subs are. Also, I don't think I'm saying subs, but I've heard someone saying from a different type of subs that in the previous episode, the Gurgeist episode, it seems like Team Rocket were lying to the Pumpkaboo guy, which is apparently the king, and his butler, saying that Ash and Co. were villains or something like that. I'm still not sure how I feel about that, but when subs actually do come out, the subs that I like, I will definitely address that in the comment section in that particular episode review. So anyway, it was fine. I can definitely see it being better than another episode, which I'm not going to mention. I had to cut my little comments in the last episode involving Pokemon XY anime in regards to that particular episode because I didn't want to get into that. But anyway, now let's get into one of the problems that I have, and that's this mini Noibat rant. Look, I'm probably going to say this again because I made notes about it and stuff, and I'm probably going to say this again. I'm not going to completely say that the rant that I have is a permanent mark on the XY series of negativity. I'm gonna wait until the next heavy focused episode of Noibat before determining. But basically, I'm already having a problem with the lack of Noibat focus in favor of these particular filler episodes. So let me just jump into what I'm talking about. I basically said here I knew they were going to treat Noibat like this because they always treat Pokemon like this. You know, it took forever for Ash's Gibble to get any sort of development, you know, and throughout the whole entire last end of the tail end of the Diamond and Pearl series, basically Gibble did not get anything. He didn't get anything, and then basically he mastered Draco Meteor during the league, and that was just so disappointing. I mean, it seemed like they were just thinking that the gag of Draco Meteor hitting Piplup was more important than actually developing Gibble, and then therefore Gibble kind of suffered out of it. I mean, sure, I will admit we get a funny scene of Conway being like, "What? It hasn't mastered Draco Meteor yet," but still at the same time it's just so disappointing, you know, though I have questions of how Conway is supposed to know about Draco Meteor not being perfected yet unless Ash was trying to perfect Draco Meteor during the time the league was there and then Conway was watching, so I don't know. I'm a little concerned as to how Conway knew about Quilava too, but I guess Conway is everywhere. Maybe he was always watching them. You know, maybe occasionally would do his own thing and stuff. I don't know. And that was kind of creepy. But anyway, yeah, basically my complaint is that they gave Ash Pokemon and then they don't use it. Outside of aspects like, Noibat, which path should I take? Let's take that one. Okay, recall me. That's the end of my role in this particular episode. Thank you. That's what every fan needed to see, was Noibat being used for something trivial. Now, I realize that there hasn't been much space between the Noibat Relay episode and this particular episode, so maybe they're still trying to be like, well, we don't want to shove Noibat down our throats, but honestly, at this point, it would make sense to throw Noibat down, or shove Noibat down our throats, and I honestly would be okay with it, because then at least I would see some sort of effort being used on Noibat and stuff, so I just think that the Sky Relay episode was kind of pointless, because all it did was it only developed Noibat in its own personal problems of being unable to fly, okay? Noibat mastered how to fly in that episode and completely used that in some sort of race, and it's like, well, yeah, but what was the point of that? I mean, that didn't help Noibat's role in Ash's team, you know, and I really don't want to see Noibat being useless on Ash's team. See, here's the thing. There are certain Pokemon archetypes, you could say, that I don't think Ash should ever have on his team. And here's the rule thing, or here's the caveat, I guess you could say, or however you want to look at it. But Such Pokemon like Oshawott and Scraggy is something that's a waste on Ash's team. And I don't necessarily mean to say that Ash cannot have these Pokemon, but then that brings up the problem, is that the writers and executive producers don't know how to use these Pokemon on Ash's team, and therefore these Pokemon just have a certain role within Ash's team that makes Ash's team suffer as a result. Now, look, a lot of people think that there is a split between Pokemon on Ash's team. Either we get a specific non-battle role Pokemon, or we get a no-personality battle drone Pokemon, and people would prefer to have the Pokemon with character and personality. But here's the problem. If the writers and executive producers cannot come up with some sort of balance between the two character traits of having a personality, being humorous, and being a battle drone, basically, if you cannot find a healthy balance for each and every Pokemon in that aspect, then of course for someone like me who likes Ash's character and actually wants him to at least attempt to succeed at his goal and not think, well, Ash is clearly never going to be a Pokemon master by the way he's being treated, I would prefer battle drones with no personality, to be honest, because what is these Pokemon with personalities and specific roles on Ash's team? What are they doing? All they're going to be used in the Pokemon League is to be cannon fodder. I mean, at the very least, fine, they're cheerleader Pokemon. Fine, set them aside and say, no, I don't trust you to do well in this Pokemon League. Let me call back Buizel or Torterra or some other Pokemon that has a better chance of doing well in the league. And that's the problem. I don't know why that there has to be some sort of division between these Pokemon. Either they have a specific humorous, crappy role, basically, in terms of battling, or they have to be lackluster, boring, but powerful Pokemon. I don't know why the executive producers and writers can't fuse those concepts together and create a well-rounded Pokemon. Now, I'm not saying that all Pokemon need to be like this, because maybe some would accuse that their personalities are separate, but really, all you have to do is use a Pokemon in a battle sense, and it does very well, and then the times where it's not battling, just show off its personality more. Like Oshawott. I really didn't need to see Oshawott having comedic moments during serious battles. Such as when it lost its Scalchop. It was funny in the beginning because I thought it was going to be there, but it was annoying the crap out of me when it happened again after the Pokemon League and the Battle of Chariot. That kind of crap is not acceptable in the anime, and I don't know why the writers and producers of the anime choose to do so. So the problem is they gave Ash an egg Pokemon, and they're not choosing to develop it. You know, I understand that other Pokemon need more focus, but what focus? The Rotom's Wish, no Pokemon got any focus. In this particular episode, the only Pokemon that might have gotten focus was maybe Chespin rolling a giant snowball down a mountain and causing Braixen to be like, oh, Chespin, why do I have to deal with you? You know, what development is going on? What interesting thing, you know? If Noibat had actually been in the episode longer than Noibat, what path do I take? Then maybe I wouldn't have had such a problem, but its screen time was like basically 15 seconds, and that was it. And then it's like, well, what was the point of that? Whoop-de-doo. I mean, I was more impressed with Noibat's appearance in the Pokeball Factory because every Pokemon showed up. You know, what were they trying to give Pikachu a little bit more focus? Is that why Ash only used Pikachu during the battle with Team Rocket? It's like, you know, and at this point, to make a comparison based on how it happened, I feel like Noibat is going to evolve into Noivern, if it evolves into Noivern, like Gumi evolved into Sugu. Basically, Noibat is only going to have Supersonic. It's not going to be used at all. And then when it actually evolves, suddenly it's going to have this outpour of power. Like when Sliggoo happened, it learned Dragon Breath. And then when Sliggoo evolved into Goodra, it learned Dragon Pulse, replacing Dragon Breath. You know, but and then there's going to be the problem with, what if Noibat doesn't evolve? In that case, then it's not going to have any role on Ash's team, and I feel like Serena and Clement would have been better off with Noibat than Ash. And I hate saying that. I really like Noibat, but I just don't like how they're treating. It's been almost a month or maybe even more since Noibat got any super heavy focus, and I realized that in terms of the episodes, that's not very much, because it's like what the equivalent of like 5 or 6 episodes or something. But you know, we have to watch the episodes 1 week at a time. It's not like these episodes are coming out every single day. Although that'd be interesting if that were ever to be a case. 360 episodes a year. No, it's just that we have to wait so long. And look at the upcoming episodes. None of them seem like they're going to be revolving around Noibat. Right now, the only chance we have is that maybe Noibat will have a role in that Diggersby episode, even though that should be revolved around Bunnelby. And it's like all these other Pokemon are getting focused. We have Chespin and Bunnelby getting focus in this upcoming episode. Then after that, we have the Braixen episode. Then we have the Moltres episode. Then the Diggersby episode. No, the Tyrant episode. Then the Diggersby episode. And then we have Eevee. And then who knows what the heck's going to happen after that. I mean, the only thing we can hope for is that the next Pokemon that gets serious development is Frogadier, and we have to hope that it evolves in the battle against Olympia. Because otherwise, it's going to be, what's the point? I mean, I suppose that evolving Fletchinder now and Frogadier might mean that they might switch over to Noibat and just start using it after Olympia, but that's the problem. This rant is not permanent. This rant is very temporary, very tentative, and my feelings on the subject are very tentative, but it's kind of, there's a point here. I don't want Noibat to not be used, because if Ash is getting another Pokemon, God have mercy on that Pokemon. I mean, if they're not going to even attempt to do anything with Noibat except being used in trivial matters such as 15 seconds of Noibat, please help me find the right path to take, then God have mercy on whatever Ash's last Pokemon is, because whatever it is, it's not going to be very well care of unless it's Ash's Charizard, okay? Unless it's Ash's Charizard, it's, or some other Pokemon that Ash already has on his team, then that Pokemon is just going to be completely and utterly pointless. The only hope we have is that maybe that Pokemon is a split evolution for 7th gen or 6.5 generation. I don't know. Or the next Game Freak games are not 7th generation and they're still a year afterwards, and then maybe there will be some battle tournaments going on there. Otherwise, I'm not very happy about what's going on. So anyway, let's just move on from there. All I know is I'm not happy with what's going on, and I guess it's my fault. I expected Noibat to have at least a better focus in this particular episode, but of course I should have known it was just about some stupid, idiotic, sick Snover because Ash and Company had to get involved. Because, yeah, that's what the producers thought. Hey, why don't we create a story involving around a sick Snover and an Abomasnow that's protecting it, and Mamoswine will revolve it around the Frost Caverns, the Mamoswine and stuff, because we can't think of anything better to make it. You know, just whatever. This episode, like I said, the Mamoswine episode was fine. It's just, So unnecessary. It's fine, it's acceptable, I enjoyed it for what it was, but I think it's just coming out at the wrong time. If this came right after the Noibat episode, Noibat Sky Relay episode, I probably would have been more accepting of it. Just not now. Not since it's been a month since that Sky Relay episode. So, anyway, moving on. Just to let you people out there know, next week there is going to be a break. So there's not going to be any episode of Pokemon until August 13th, which is the Chespin and Bunnelby episode. Speaking of which, we have a preview. So basically, this is a little bit of the summary and the preview combined together for my own little description of the episode. So basically what we have is an episode where there's a blackout due to the weather, and Clement does not have the proper resources to fix it, so he asks Chespin and Bunnelby to purchase those items for him. Because, and this is a joke, because apparently Clement can't properly fix anything yet, so he's needing to be used to pedal the electric bike to produce electricity, while in the meantime, Chespin and Bunnelby go searching for items. That's why Clement's not the one going and searching for these items, because Clement needs to be used to pedal things, you know, for the electricity or whatever. So, anyway, just some interesting things in the preview, just some pictures that I'll throw up. There wasn't a lot in the preview to show up pictures. I'm sure you can find something in the preview that you may like, but basically all we have that is interesting is Nurse Serena in action. So yeah, we got a really interesting Serena dressed up as Nurse Joy kind of thing. Well, not dressed up as Nurse Joy, dressed up as a nurse. So we have that. We also have a nice weather shot of Frogadier and Hawlucha with Ash during the rain. They're on the roof. They're trying to fix the roof and stuff. Apparently, I'm guessing, this is just a guess, that a lightning bolt of something from the storm hit the roof and had it collapse, and Ash is trying to fix it with his Pokemon. Chespin Bunny versus a Fearow that steals the coin purse. Now, I'm not necessarily going to be able to show you the picture of Fearow stealing the coin purse, but I'll show you the really nice image of Fearow that shows up in this particular preview. And so that's kind of basically it for that. Because this revolves around Chespin and Bunnelby, I'm thinking that and this is going to be like a very fun and serious episode at the same time. I definitely feel like this is going to be a good episode. I don't know. It's already looking better than what I had to watch with the Mamoswine and Abomasnow episode. Like I said, it was fine, but I think this episode is going to be better. Hopefully I'm right. Hopefully we'll get some funny moments, some interesting moments, and some cool moments happening, and everything of that nature. So anyway, let's talk about the new title that was revealed. I don't know, I don't have it here, but Bonnie Will Take Care of You, the Pampered Tyrant. So basically, yeah, this is going to be a Bonnie-centric episode. What was the last Bonnie-centric episode? The Ghost episode, the Rope episode, or Meowth and Bonnie episode. So, yeah, I think it's good that we have a Bonnie-focused episode coming up soon. So anyway, yeah. Here is two particular speculations that I have until further information is revealed, like such as VA list with summaries. I don't know if I'm going to do a video on it, but we'll see. Basically, I have two speculations. First speculation is Bonnie is taking care of a cute Tyrant who is big and then ends up evolving into Tyrantrum at some particular point in the episode, because we know Tyrantrum will be in that particular episode if the data broadcast has anything to go by. Or they find a lost Tyrant, Bonnie takes care of it, and it runs into their parents or mothers or whatever, and that's where the Tyrantrum comes in. It's the parent of this baby Tyrant, which I'm assuming would be a baby Pokemon. Or not a baby Pokemon, but a baby Tyrant, because it's being pampered and stuff. And it's like kind of cute and stuff. I still don't know what was wrong with Grant's Tyrant, because that thing was tiny in comparison to the Tyrant we're going to see. I mean, this Tyrant is bigger than Bonnie, you know? Grant's Tyrant was barely bigger than Pikachu. Frogadier was probably bigger than, well, not Froakie, but Frogadier definitely would be bigger, and, well, no, wait, hold on. Bonnie, I think, is just barely taller than Frogadier. I don't know, it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. Anyway, yeah, that's pretty much all we have. There are some pictures of the other episodes coming up, but I can't quite recall what they are. I think one image is of the Moltres episode with Trevor showing the image to Serena, Ash, and come on. Fletchender is there, and maybe Fletchender will be throughout the whole entire episode. I don't know of that particular episode, but I'm not sure. I guess we'll have to see, but that's pretty much all we have. Maybe the Moltres episode is a Noibat-focused episode. Maybe Fletchender is teaching Noibat some things or something like that, and then we'll get some battle moves, and maybe that's why Fletchender is out during that episode, but Ash recalls Noibat before he could recall Fletchender, and then all of the Trevor stuff happens. I don't know. We'll have to see. And that's pretty much it. Not a lot of exciting things going on because we've been revealed by the upcoming episodes preview. Not a lot to discuss. I really don't know what my next Pokemon video after this is going to be. There's a lot of things that I'm trying to get going, but I'm having personal issues, so I can't quite get to what I want to be getting to. So I guess we'll see what happens when it happens. So anyway, thank you for watching. I'm Dustin Benzel, and I will see you in my next video. Goodbye.